Hey, what's up, everybody? We've got Xbox Nation, hashtag Xbox Nation. We got our own thing going on here, and we are here. We're in full effect. We got the full gang. Mooch has, I've managed to lure Mooch back to the podcast. He's got kind of like this. He's like, I don't know. I've got 2,000 subscribers. It might be a little too big to
My,
go on Xbox
my
Nation.
publicist warned me to come back on, crap. And I warned her. I said, listen, I started there. I know my roots, all right?
Good PR.
That's right.
Yeah, but I do want to say one thing, man. You hit 2,000 subscribers super fast, man. It took me like over a year to hit 1,000, and you're at like 2,200 or
Well,
something.
listen, I don't let my head get too big. I definitely, like I said, I did a video today with Z, and I never forget my roots. That's the one thing. I'm always true to you and Zaire. A lot of those 2,000 people are because you let me use your venue to actually express my opinions, and I'm grateful for the people that love to hear what I have to say, but I'm also grateful for you letting me use your show to introduce myself. So thanks, crap.
Oh, you know what? No problem, dude. How many times that what was funny was, and we got Blackie Lebowski who literally
Lebowski!
yeah, he like jumped in the podcast literally a minute before we went live. I was waiting and waiting. I was like, man, I'm gonna give him till 8:25, and then here he is. What's up, Blackie?
What's up, everybody? I was playing that Gears of War. You know how it is. And, yeah, crap, we got to thank you for letting Mooch get his voice out there, doing the gaming world a favor, because there's so much bullshit going on, man.
Oh, you know what? There is, and you know what, Blackie? Like, I like your channel. That's why I was hoping that you'd get a bump from being on here and stuff like that. I like, you're an Xbox dude, even though you weren't always, which is cool. It's like you weren't like diehard Xbox for like the whole time. Like you like the Xbox One because it has games, and that's, I mean, think of that, right? I mean, how crazy is that? You like Xbox One because it has games.
Yeah,
I mean,
definitely since being on the podcast, I'd like to thank you guys for letting me be here. And definitely it's kind of motivated me to do more videos each day. And the channel's definitely growing, and I appreciate it. Check the channel out. Always doing videos, subscribe. But, yeah, right now it's just a great time to be an Xbox gamer. I'm always on there on Xbox Live playing. So, hit us up, man. We're gamers here, guys.
That's
oh,
right.
hell yeah. Dude, I liked your video, man. You were like four-wheeling or something.
Yeah, man, that's the LTZ 400. But yeah, that's my buddy's GoPro. He's Dankus Basil. He's also on Xbox Live. Shout out to him for letting me use that GoPro. But yeah, man, we're out here doing a lot of stuff other than focusing on weird shit, worrying about what somebody's playing, what they're doing. We are real gamers. We're real men. We have real lives, and it's not nothing weird here. But that's one of the things I do is just get a GoPro, get on a four-wheeler, haul ass. That to me is cool, man. And playing games, and I don't know, it's good to have our like minds right now, because there's some really fucked up shit going on. I did a video talking about it today, man. The media is biased. It's crazy. It's like the gaming media needs people like Mooch. It's just insane, man.
It definitely is, man, and you're a good voice for the Xbox community to do some good stuff. But you got, you have a lot. You're one of those up and coming channels like Mooch, where you have some of those detractors, and I'm not really going to name them, that see the rising. They did the same thing to me, and they try to damage control that. They try to quell that. They try to do videos about you and say this and that. You're wrong. You're this. You're that. You know what I'm saying? That's what they do because they don't want you growing your channel, growing your brand, getting a positive word out there for Xbox, you know what I mean, which is just kind of sad because YouTube is huge. Everybody should be able to say pretty much what they want and speak their own opinion, and that's just the way I think it is, man. You got a kick-ass channel. I think Mooch's channel is coming along great, and Too Much Food, you're here too. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thanks for having me. I want to thank everybody first and foremost for giving me the 700 milestone. I got 700 subscribers recently. It's absolutely amazing. I was watching it when it was like 698, 699, 700, and I was like popping champagne, and then somebody unsubscribed, and then went back down to 699, so I put the champagne away again, and then I surpassed that. So my champagne's a little flat, but I'm still enjoying it, so I want to thank everybody for definitely helping me get there. I appreciate it.
Hey, yo, food. What? I hear Mooch's Mooch's fans. What are they? The Mooch maniacs.
The Mooch
Had a
Maniacs.
few choice words for you. What did they say? What did Mooch's maniacs say?
Okay, it's just really strange because we all know that there's people in this community that are very harsh and only out to get us, and luckily none of them have even targeted me, right? So I feel like, I'm in the clear, I'm doing pretty good, right? Wrong, because Mooch's Maniacs go to my channel telling me to quit because Mooch has a channel now. I'm like, come on, man, we're on the same team. Friendly fire. Put the safety on, man.
No, it's a comical thing, but Food has amazing content. He brings a different retrospect to a couple of different subjects, and what's great about the way you do it, Food, is you really do it in a news fashion. You're just stately. You're putting the facts out there. You're not bullshitting. You're not sugarcoating it, and you cover a lot of the Nintendo stuff, which is great too, because I mean, it's hard. I think just from what I've realized, it's really hard to get people's attention with Nintendo because it seems to be the YouTubers, for the most part, are, when I say older, take that with a grain of salt. I'll say probably 18 plus, and you lose a little bit of the Nintendo crowd. You get a little bit of nostalgia with the age groups like I'm at, because we all grew up with Nintendo, so you'll get some of that, but you don't get a lot of the youth grabbing onto that Nintendo news. So I applaud you, and definitely give Food a shot, man. It's a great. I listen to it. I always watch your content.
I watch some of your stuff, man. I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch because I just don't. There's so much stuff. Like you have stuff every day. Showstopper, Mooch once in a while, Blackie. It's like what I mean. There's a lot. I don't watch every single thing, but I do like the stuff, and I like the way you present it. So like you got an up and coming channel, and hopefully you can build that up. A lot of people might look at Mooch and go, man, he's had incredible success really fast, like 2,000 plus subscribers really quick. But you have to remember he was on BGST.
For a good year.
He was on BGST for like a year, and everybody's like, Mooch, get a gaming channel, and he's hosted BGST, which is a big podcast, and he's, he's done this, so people were like ready to, they already liked it, they knew what he was about, you know what I mean, so I think that, it's those situations where, it worked out for the best, and, I like doing different things, kind of different formats. Mooch is like my Robin Quivers, my sidekick to my...
Still prefer the Stephen Colbert.
Okay, Stephen Colbert,
fine.
whatever.
I'll take Robin Quivers.
Yeah, I mean, it's good, so I think it's interesting. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about a lot of stuff tonight. A couple of early things I want to talk about. 16 years ago today, the Sega Dreamcast launch. How many of you guys had that console?
I have two of them.
I had it.
I still have mine. I have my Sega Sports Black console. I think it's amazing. What about you, Blackie? Were you a Dreamcast dude?
I was not a Dreamcast guy, man. I had the Sega Saturn, and then I was playing a bunch of sports, so I don't know.
Definitely give it a chance. Go to your local mom and pop gamer shop, man. Pick it up. It's probably like $40. It's definitely worth it. Try it out.
I remember this kid on the bus, man. This really smart guy. He could draw like crazy, and he had this magazine, and he was showing me the controller, and I was like, man, that looks really, really badass. But at the time, being a kid, I just didn't have the money for it, and I was doing a lot of other stuff. So, but I definitely, I mean, what's that, Ready to Rumble? Because my girlfriend at the time, her little brother, he had one, and it was like this Ready to Rumble box, and this dude with afro. I love that shit. That was awesome.
What's his name? Isn't it like... Damn, I forget his fucking name. I want to know, because I used to play that game, and I'd use him as my character.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive at the time. I remember it was pretty cool.
What was interesting about that was the launch titles were really good. You know how most launches have pretty crappy launch titles? It had like Sonic Adventure, Soul Calibur, and it had Ready to Rumble Boxing, Blue Stinger. It had a lot of games that
Blue
were
Stinger.
Yeah, I know, right? That were, right at launch, and it also was really good because at the time arcades were still kind of popular, so it could do perfect arcade ports, and I thought that was really interesting and really cool. And that's actually the precursor to the Xbox, to be honest with you. After they folded, partially due to Sony kind of bearing down on them or whatever, they kind of signed a deal with Microsoft and gave them some exclusive games like Panzer Dragoon and Shenmue and things like that. And actually, the president of Sega at the time wanted the original Xbox to be backwards compatible with the Dreamcast because he liked it so much, right? Just imagine how good that would have done if that would actually happen with the Xbox in Japan. It would have been really cool. But I just wanted to, that's interesting gaming history for me because I like that console. That was my first foray into online gaming. because I was playing like NFL 2K1 online and like NBA 2K1, and they had like those fantastic sports games that I just thought were amazing. So
Did they update the rosters crap on that?
Yeah, you did get updated rosters.
Okay.
Yeah, it was really cool, but it was laggy because at the time most people were playing on dial-up.
Right,
So
right.
you can imagine that it wasn't wasn't that great. They did eventually, um, you know,
Oh my
they did
God.
eventually come. What?
You just reminded me of something. I'm sure you checked out that interview with what's his name, Robbie Bach, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you read how the original Xbox didn't start off with the Ethernet port first? It was actually a 56K modem. Isn't that insane?
It is. Bill Gates wanted them to do. He's like he thought it was stupid for them not to have a a 56K modem at the time. Microsoft always pushes the industry, and they were the first ones out the gate with a true legit like with an Ethernet cable. You know what I'm saying? That was the only thing you had. Like people bitched about that at the time, and it turned out for the best because you didn't want people on with their Ethernet cable and their DSL to be stuck playing with people on 56K modem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
man.
That would be terrible. So they moved the industry forward. Yeah.
They predicted where the industry was moving real quickly. I mean, I don't think anybody saw that coming, and it just took off with success because people with the PS2 were like scrambling to get a hold of that broadband modem piece or adapter, and people with the GameCube, we all know, was like non-existent. Its peripheral was like extremely hard to get. So, but Xbox nailed it.
Yeah, when the original Xbox came out, man, I remember just a bunch of guys in my fraternity all grabbed it, and when they did, like, there was just wires going across. Like, I mean, they were doing the LAN stuff, you know what I mean? Where they were doing they had the Ethernet cables running along the hallways, and like, I remember walking in one day, I was like, what the hell are you doing? And I'm watching Halo, so I'm watching Halo. They're playing it versus, and then I'm like, I hear guys down the hall, and they're like, you're screaming, and I'm like. But it's reacting to, and I'm not paying attention. I'm talking to my buddy next to me, and I'm watching the television. The two guys playing, and we're like, "Oh, what's going on tonight? What's happening? What's happening? Is there a part here?" Blah, blah. And these two guys are like going on and on, and they're like, I hear these guys screaming when someone's shot. Someone's screaming in the other room. Someone's shot over here. I'm like, who the fuck are you guys playing with? And they're like, we're playing with the guys, 2 doors down the way. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious? Like the idea that they were just so far ahead of their time. The Xbox One, your OG Xbox, if you will, I think was just. Every day I read more and more about that console, and I'm like, why didn't you take that and just make the 360 that to the nth degree? But I guess the problem was they just had a really hard time putting Windows on the console. But I mean, It was just so ahead of its time. It's almost like we're there now again, with the whole x86 architecture, etc.
Yeah.
I think we're back there. We're finally back to square one with some improvements, and I'm hoping that. And I know we're not going down this alley, but I get excited. I'm a tech guy. It's what I do for a living. I just get excited. I can't wait to see what they take now and then take everything we have. Remember, when you make something new, you can't leave behind what you did before. Take what you have, improve on it, and then build. So I'm very excited what's going to be coming, soon. Next, hopefully 3 years.
Hey, man, I tell you what, with the Xbox, the original Xbox, I was in the Air Force whenever that thing was popular, and I was in a fire team, and there were 5 people in there, and it was like the lucky job. We would switch different posts, and in this fire team, there was like a 65-inch TV. They had a refrigerator. So imagine you got a 12-hour shift, and if you're not riding around in the Jeep, you're chilling in this fire team. Well, these dudes brought an Xbox one day, and I swear to God, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., these dudes played Halo the entire time. And the shit was irritating at first, because I was like, what the fuck? Because I didn't understand what was going on. But then, like, slowly but surely, every person I knew on base had a fucking Xbox. And we all were down with the DVD and the Madden on the PS2 and the college football. That was the thing for a lot of people. And I call it that Xbox Live moment, because it was just like, well, that really wasn't the Xbox Live moment, but they were just so ahead. It was like that community thing. And I still get it with the Xbox Live, where you're playing with a group of dudes and you're talking, you got a goal, you're murking some motherfuckers or whatever on Gears, Halo, whatever. And it's just something that the Xbox One has done really well. And I don't know, I think I think that's why I'm such a big fan of it now, because going from the Xbox 360 to the PS3, and then dealing with that network, and then coming back to the 360 at the very end there with the Slim, it was no question about the Xbox One, man. And I think that we are at that moment, like Mooch said, like this whatever they're doing with DirectX 12, we're going to see some amazing things happen. Like, I think from the beginning, if you look at the original Xbox 360 and now, like, Microsoft isn't playing. They got something up their sleeve for sure. And the exclusive games, it's as good now as it was then. I'm so content as a gamer. I can honestly say that.
Oh, you know what? I think that they like to surprise people, and I like that about them. You never know what they're gonna do. Like, I got a feeling, and they tease it. You know what I mean? They tease what they're gonna surprise people with. I think we're gonna get original Xbox backwards compatibility. I think they're gonna add, the ability to buy original Xbox games and 360 games on the store on Xbox One. Imagine that. You can buy the games and play them, right? I mean, what other console is offering backwards compatibility like that? I also think that, because Phil Spencer hinted about it, and I asked him directly on Twitter, I was like, well, if you guys can do backwards compatibility with the original Xbox, is there a way to get some kind of achievement system? And he says that it was, in fact, possible. It takes a little bit of, like, coding for each one. So I can imagine them doing the first-party games or the ones that they publish. So you could, your KOTORs, your Jade Empires, your Crimson Skies, the games that they published would be easy for them to put achievements on there. You know what I mean? How amazing would that be? Backwards compatibility with 2 Xbox consoles and achievements. I mean, to me, that just blows my mind. I just would love it. You know what I mean? I still have my Xbox games. I still have my 360 games, and I just think that would be freaking fantastic.
I mean, what I'm dying for, honestly, when it comes to that specific topic, is I want them to not go all digital when it comes to this. I want them to come out on stage one day and say, get your old Xbox disc, throw it in your Xbox One, and it'll work. Like, that is what I'm waiting for. I want to be able to throw my physical media in this console that got made, over 10 years later, and upscale it to 1080p. And that's what I'm dying for. On a side note, something else I'm dying for is a Baldur's Gate remake and a Morrowind remake, but I'm gonna hold my breath there.
Yeah. You know what? September was a big month back in the day for console releases because the PlayStation 1 launched 20 years ago today. So think about that. We had the Xbox, the Dreamcast 16 years ago. 20 years ago was the original PlayStation, and you know what? Like, PlayStation tweeted that out. 20 years ago we did it, and I was like, man, I love that console. You know what I mean? It was innovative. They were pushing the industry. They were doing great things. With the disc format, and there was a CD player and all this cool stuff, right? And I said, hey, that was great. It's too bad that you guys have lost a plate now, right? And so that's what I said on Twitter in my typical fashion that I do. Well, you wouldn't believe the tweets I got back all day. Oh, you're salty, the 900p box, and you know what I mean, this and that, and Xbox Live sucks, and PSN is better, and Xbox Live has had more problems, and it was just like the biggest amount of bullcrap that I've ever seen or heard in my life. You know what I mean? And it's like I was sitting there complimenting the PS1. The PS1 and PS2 were very good consoles. PS3 had a lot of good games, but we know that it was actually holding back the industry per EA developers. They came out and said that the cell processor retarded the industry. They said that.
PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, that was a great time. And I actually benchmark those moments in reference to the now, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? This isn't PlayStation to me. Like, back in the PlayStation 1 days, sorry guys, I'm getting blown up with fucking messages. Back in the PlayStation 1 days, oh shit, we got Iron Wolf in the house. What's up?
Yo, what's up?
Hey, no 1080p for you, Iron Wolf. No.
Yo, no 1080p for you. No 1080p. No.
Hey, Iron Wolf. What was your thoughts on the PlayStation 1? I mean, 20 years ago as well. I mean, Blackie, what were you saying, Blackie? Hold on, let Blackie finish real quick. What were you saying, Blackie? I mean, that was a really good time. I agree.
I'm saying basically back in the day when I had the PlayStation 1, you had Gran Turismo, right? You had Metal Gear, you had Twisted Metal, you had memory cards. As stupid as that sounds, guys, but to me, I remember a time whenever that little memory card had all my game information and I could, progress through Resident Evil. That meant something to me.
Yes.
Something about that system did. Putting in CDs. Remember, you put a CD in the PlayStation 1 and it had the little menu. It was cool, man. Here's a new format. The PlayStation 2 offered a lot of the same things. I felt I had a really good deal with it. You had a DVD player. It had a media remote. And then now, let me continue. It had a media remote. It had good games, Gran Turismo, Resident Evil, Metal Gear, all this stuff, man. PlayStation 3, shit changed. Something happened. I think they were just so high on whatever they got on from the PS2 days. They wanted to rest on them laurels. So the PS3 came out. They had a banging-ass system. The 60 gig Fat Boy was one of the sickest gaming systems I think ever existed. And I'm saying this about a PlayStation system. But then you look at the very end of it, and I've said this many times, the franchises just didn't hold up. Like, Uncharted is the biggest and best thing they have going for it, and I completely lost interest within the third one. I have no clue. Past Drake being a little kid within a museum, I don't remember shit about the third Uncharted. And that's just how those franchises are. And the PS4, what the fuck? They're giving you Uncharted with no multiplayer, and you have No Man's Sky. They're talking about shit like this. Like I said,
$60, by the way. It looks like it's going to be $60.
Yeah, so right, you think about that. I reference it all back to them days whenever you had them games that created that dynamic that said, hey, this is why I have a PlayStation. There's no arguing. Today, that's not there. You hear sales and, well, this person lied in the community, so that's why PlayStation's better. It's just keep it gaming. And if you did have the fucking games, you wouldn't be so aggressive and so disturbed. And I don't know. It seems to me that that's really what's going on, man. There's a lot of people that just want all the Xbox games, and they can't fucking have them.
Before I want to hear Wolf's opinion too. I just want to chime in real quick because what Blackie said, something really, really resonated with me, and I agree with him. I agree with him on PS1, PS2. PS3, you could feel it, you could see it in the games. There was something diminishing within the company. Something wasn't right. Now, then they had their February 2013 reveal, which they only revealed the controller, so you already knew something was wrong. Everyone always says, oh, Sony was ready. Sony was ready in 2013. Microsoft was not ready. Look at their UI. They weren't ready. Well, they were so ready that they were only ready to show us the controller at their reveal, so something wasn't right. But that's another subject. But when I watched their reveal and they had the 20 people standing in a semicircle that were all indie developers playing like Pac-Man and Fat Princess and Q*bert, I turned to a buddy of mine when we were watching it, and I'm like, wow, this is a clear sign, because they showed before Microsoft. I'm like, here's a clear sign that PS4 is also a failure, because they're not showing the box, B, they're only showing me CGI of that wizardry movie that they showed. I go, that's not a game, that's a movie. It looks like a Pixar film. And I said, then you've got 20 indies up there of Pac-Man. So I'm like, oh, there you go. I mean, there's been reports that Sony's broke, they've got no money. And then literally, I went to IGN after the show for the post-show analysis, and I'm like, well, here we go. We'll just, I'm talking to my buddy, and I was not this pro, go hardcore thing that, I've become. I said, let's just hear what they have to say, and they're like, well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm blown away. And I'm like, what? And I turned to my friend, and I'm like, the fuck? I'm like, what are they watching? And they're like, did you see that? Did you see the controller? Did you see how they really captured the indie? How they're keeping the indie alive? They're giving these small developers a chance. I'm like, who the fuck gives a shit? I'm like, nobody, what? I'm like, Xbox Arcade, Summer of Arcade, gave them plenty of opportunity. They had their own fucking box on the 360 that I could click on, and I could have shopped for fucking hours and hours and hours. There's nothing there. I'm like, I don't care. That's filler. I'm like, where's the games? You didn't show me anything. Microsoft comes out on May 20th, shows me that I can interact with my cable box, shows me that I can talk to it, shows me Forza 5, shows me COD, shows me that they kept their word, shows me this and that. I'm like blown away, and then at the end they're like, I don't know about you guys, I'm a little disappointed. What the fuck was that? And I'm like, what is happening? I'm like, did somebody possess somebody? Or is somebody did somebody tell somebody to do this in the industry? And that's when I started to scratch my head, and I said, something's not right. Something is not right here. Microsoft's reveal, yes, it did show TV. Yes, it showed Kinect. But yes, it showed Forza. Yes, they had Call of Duty and Activision on screen as a mini version of an E3 showing. Sony showed 20 indie developers a CGI and a controller. Like, what was I missing, people? Tell me, like, what did I not see? And it just snowballed. It got worse and worse and worse to where we are today, to where people are so delusional, and I mean consumers, are so delusional from what the media has been feeding you, that this is why Xbox Nation, the people on this panel, that's why we exist. We're trying to actually smack the shit out of you to come back to reality and be like, explain to the five of us, what the hell are you playing right now that we're missing? And I can't wait to hear it.
Hey, hold on. I want you to interject here in a second, Food, and you too, Wolf. I want to get your opinion on the 20th anniversary of the PlayStation 1 launch. But Blackie, did you see that dude earlier on Twitter who's told me he didn't? He was like, he goes, who buys a game system for exclusives? And I says, well, how about, better online, better controller, better community, better ecosystem, EA access, backwards compatibility. You know what I mean? It's like these guys are so brainwashed into thinking that, that they're getting something with the PS4. They think that they honestly believe in their head. And this is what makes it so insane, because what's really dangerous in the history of the world is, like, you got some of these people, you got your Hitlers and your Bin Ladens and stuff like that. And what made them so dangerous is not that what they believed, it's that they believed they were right. Right? And these people are criminally insane. They believe that they're 100% right. And listen, I'm not comparing console wars to that stuff, right? That's just an example. You know what I mean? Because next thing you know, I'm going to get videos about me saying, Crap Gamer says that, console wars are just as serious as this. It's not. What I'm saying is, people they really believe it in their heart of hearts that PlayStation is for the gamer and that they're the only ones that do stuff for the gamer. And you can just look at who's offering what. Who's the one that has a forum that implements feedback at record pace, monthly updates, backwards compatibility, EA Access. Sony turned down EA Access, and they said no backwards compatibility. They could say, hey, we're going to roll PSN, PlayStation Now, we're going to give you a certain amount of games to stream per month as part of, PlayStation Now thing. You know what I'm saying? They could do that, but they're not going to. You know what I mean? And I think that's ridiculous.
Well, they're starting to advertise now, guys. I want to just say this. They're advertising EA Access hard right now, and they did an Xbox commercial which mentioned Xbox exclusivity, which is the first time they've literally come out and stamped it that way. Do you guys have any idea? I haven't read anything. Do you guys have any idea of how long this is going to go? Is this a indefinite thing, or is it a 12-month thing?
Well, I bet you it's probably, for a safe bet, probably a 12-month thing. Because honestly, in the world of business, money talks, and they're probably holding out to see if Sony doesn't sink and probably changes their mind and wants EA access. Because you know how they are. They've had their foot in their mouth plenty times. I mean, they say they're for the gamer, but they don't even let you own your own PS3 games on the PS4 with PSN Now. But I think it might be time, possibly, I'll say about a year. That makes sense. But hopefully it's console generation and the partnership with EA. Hopefully that shows a glimpse of hope of locking down Titanfall 2, but that's a whole other topic.
Look at it this way, though, guys. The reason I venture to bring this up is because we know with the whole Tomb Raider thing for, last year's game, not this past one, but the year before's Gamescom, and then this year's E3, we saw that it said holiday exclusive. This is something they're stamping the word exclusive on. I almost tend to think Microsoft has locked it up, and I'll tell you another reason why. If you dare to resub them again, and you go to IGN, when they first did the first break and reveal of this, they had said that they had claimed that it would only last possibly 6 months for the same reasons, Food, that they would give Sony the opportunity to realize they made a mistake and that the value is actually there. And now we're well over that 6 month. We're well over that with EA Access. Now it's being bundled, and the fact that they didn't come out and say timed or holiday or get it this year, it just said exclusive. That to me means I think at this point, I think Microsoft may have locked it down.
Hey, it's like this. I don't know what Microsoft is doing, and I want to hear Wolf's opinion because I haven't really heard him too much. But I think with the Xbox One, it's like Crap just said it, man. When he was mentioning the guy on Twitter who buys a console for exclusives, and you got the ecosystem and blah blah blah. There's almost too many things to list as why I want my fucking Xbox over this PlayStation 4. Elite controller, the PlayStation Network is dog shit. I seen a video by the Red Dragon. Shout out to him, where he's literally running the test in his house. I don't know if you guys seen this.
Yeah, I saw it. I pointed it out today too. Like the download speeds when you test them on PlayStation aren't as good as what you test with Xbox One. It's not as quality of as hardware.
Yeah, it's just dog shit around the board, man. I think that with the Xbox One, from a consumer standpoint, they're almost giving me too many reasons to list. Like I heard EA Access, and I forgot about it. Like I'm thinking about Halo, I'm thinking about Gears, Forza, and I forget shit about like EA Access. And there's just so many reasons to have. I think that maybe you don't like some of the exclusive games, Halo, Gears, or whatever, but other than that, man, it's just some ignorant fanboy shit and some brainwashing from the media. Yo, Wolf, what you got to say, man?
Yo, I wanted to talk about the 20th anniversary of PlayStation, and as far as I'm concerned, I never thought the PS1 was a great system. Now, hear me out first of all before you jump on me, right? I always thought like making you buy a memory card was anti-consumer. They made you buy a multi-tap to add more controller ports so you can play 4 players in certain games. And I thought that was a rip-off, while the N64, which was, on the same generation, they had 4 controller ports. You see what I'm saying? And the Laserdisc reader, the Laserdisc reader, that completely sucked. And I had to change that shit like 3 times. And I had to put my PS1 in certain positions so the disc can read. And I was getting sick of that shit, you know what I'm saying? So I was like, thank God that the Dreamcast existed. And then when the PS2 came out, that kind of like got me so salty. Trust me. But then when the OG Xbox came out, I thought, damn, that changed the game completely. And it was a much better system than the PS2. And Sony have been playing catch up since 2001, and that's a fact.
Well, yeah. I mean, you got to look at Sony though. I mean, I know Mooch is probably gonna kill me, but like I applaud their early efforts, and it kind of bums me out every time I think about the PlayStation 1, because the leadership at that time, that company showed how serious they were, and how when they're determined to do something, they fucking do it, and they do it right. And they undercut the competition in price with developers and games and power, and it's just you don't see that nowadays. Like back then, the PlayStation 1 was a beast. I still think it's the best PlayStation out of all 4 of them. I mean, you cannot top the quality of the console, the strategy behind it, and how well absolutely everything about that console was executed to me. And now, the PS2, you would think, well, yeah, it did a lot better in sales, but like I don't think it matched the efforts of the PS1. And then it just died down, I mean, with a thud when the PS3, and now the PS4, it's just a casual gaming console.
I just personally think, right, that everything great on the PS1 were just third-party games. Mooch, I'm sure you can agree with me on that, because what was their first-party offering that was so great? I don't remember any.
I was obsessed with Gran Turismo, and point. I was obsessed with I forget it's a title. It was like a shooter.
No, Sega Rally was a better game than Gran Turismo, man.
Well, I mean, you got to remember at the time I was probably like 10, so I wasn't aware of Dreamcast's offerings. I wasn't going at the wallet.
They actually lied that the PS1 can actually hit over 1 million polygons on screen when that was false. They were giving false information from the beginning.
Yeah, but
well, they were doing that. They did that with the PS2 as well. Remember the duck?
Yo, you just bodied out by it.
We lost them.
We lost.
No, they did the same thing with the duck thing, and they did the same thing with this one here. Was it this one or the PS3 when they did all the marbles falling? It was this one, wasn't it? The PS4 launch.
The PS4, yeah.
All those marbles falling down into the thing. Listen, this is now starting. Let's just start from Assassin's Creed Unity. From Assassin's Creed Unity to the present, Sony's PS4 has had frame rate issues on every multi-plat release. And these are it's empty promise since PS1, PS2 days all the way through, and nobody holds them accountable. There's never anything like you could write an amazing article on the false truthfulness of because they think they're telling the truth. This falseness that Sony's been preaching, and nobody writes anything, nobody says anything. The media's never reporting it, and then Microsoft, like I said, does one thing that's not even. It's a mediocre little oops, and it's headline news.
Yeah,
you know?
like I'll never forget like 13, 14-year-old me watching the rumors and speculation and looking at, dummy consoles of the PS3 that might arrive with a fucking boomerang remote that never came out with like 4 HDMI ports, could do 120 frames per second. It's absolutely, dude, they lied so fucking much, and nobody reports that. Like when they cut back on all those features, the media just stayed dead quiet.
Can you guys hear me?
I can.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I just feel as the OG Xbox didn't get enough credit that it deserved, because it had 4 controller ports, it had inbuilt memory, it had all those things. With the PS2, you still had to buy extra multi-tap for extra controller ports. You still had to buy, memory cards and shit like that. You had to buy all them shit.
And something
And
you have to get.
You had to buy a broadband adapter for the back, while the OG Xbox had that shit.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier too. How the Xbox pushed broadband right out the door, right out the gate. But look, I'll say on PS2 were spades ahead of the PS4. If the PS4 came out in like the 90s, people would laugh that console out the damn door because it has no content. Sega had Sonic and things like that. What Sony comes out there and says, hey, we're going to put out a console, and for the third, let's look at this, AAA exclusives year for each holiday. I'm not even going to count Knack as a AAA. That's like a AA. That should have been like a $20 downloadable title from the get-go. So we'll give them Killzone Shadowfall as the AAA for 2013. 2014. I'm not going to say Little Big Planet 3 is a AAA because it's not. It's more like a AA little deal. So we could say maybe Drive Club that was completely broken, still broken, and they didn't even get their free version of that. So Killzone at the launch in 2013, Drive Club last year, and what this year? They have no AAAs this year for the holiday. That's what you're dealing with when you're talking PlayStation. And that is a problem, and people need to wake up, in my opinion. It's like people are so busy, like freaking out trying to damage control that they don't admit it. Look, us as Xbox fans and us on BGST has said it for months. Microsoft screwed up. They should have had more games to launch earlier in the year. I get it. I've said it. We've all said it. Yeah. Guess what? They fixed the problem. They listened, and next year is going to be damn near an exclusive every month. You know what I mean? So I think that Sony, on the other hand, who are notoriously slow starters with hardware. The PS1 didn't launch with a great lineup. Eventually got some pretty good games. PS2 didn't launch with a great lineup. I actually played my Dreamcast more when I got my PS2 new, right? I was playing my Dreamcast way more because the PS2 didn't really have any games. So, and I was also into online at the time, you know what I mean? And you had to buy the little, like you said, the little adapter for the back. It was just, it was terrible. The Xbox came and it was an awakening for me. I was playing Halo. I was playing, and especially when when you could play online. Like I was playing like the 2K stuff and all that kind of good stuff. It was great, and it was very inventive and innovative, and I loved it. It was fantastic. And I wish Sony would get back to that because they're best when they're leading the pack instead of following the pack. And right now what they do is they see what Nintendo does, they copy that. You look at the Move, look at Oculus Rift, they copied that with Morpheus. You look at other things, they just copy it. They copy what Microsoft did with the 360 that was so successful. And they, what I'm saying? That's what they do. That's not their bread and butter. Their bread and butter is leading the way. And that's unfortunate that they're not doing that because where are their big exclusives that we're all used to? And nobody can damage control that with a big list of walking simulator indies and a bunch of crap. And that's sad. You know what I mean? I think it's pretty bad, and it sucks. As a PS4 owner, it sucks because I want something to play on the damn console. Yeah, that's the bottom line.
I was going to say,
talking about leading the way, man. I think Iron Wolf nailed it, man. Xbox has been ahead since they started. The PS2 came first, but as soon as that Xbox dropped with the whole broadband capabilities, they had Halo, they had that. Remember that Bruce Lee side scroller? I remember that one. It was good.
What's funny is I like that game too, and Next Gen's a big fan of that. A lot of people don't even remember that game. It was it was such like a weird game. Not a lot of people liked it. You know what I mean? I don't hear people talking about it very fondly or very much. So it's cool to know that we're all kind of hardcore and that we all liked that game and thought it was pretty cool. So I think that was something that the original Xbox did that the Xbox One is kind of doing, which is taking that kind of hardcore type approach. You know, look at the Xbox One Elite. You know what I mean? I think that's what it's doing. It's reaching out to that hardcore audience with that controller and the even the hard drive itself. So
You know,
I think that's fantastic.
One of the key things we always talk about, and everybody that's here, we all have gamed together, we've all hung out, and I'll tell you right now, is the community, the online, also the online capabilities of Xbox Live. And no matter how many of us have gotten into arguments with, you know, the different types of ponies and PlayStation fans out there, they never throw how great their community is out there. They never throw how much they game with their friends. They never throw out there how reliable their system is or anything of that nature. And that's such an integral part when we're talking about just the, you know, the Ethernet, you know, capability of the Xbox, the original OG, and where we are today. And these are things that Microsoft has worked on and kept. You know, we all know Xbox Live is just head over heels better than PSN. And that's just another sure sign of the weakness that Sony's provided in their box. And it's another time I just shake my head and I'm like, what in the world? What in the world are people thinking? What are the consumers thinking when you go to pick up these devices, these boxes? There's nothing, there's a coldness. You turn on your PS3, your PS4, there's no interaction with you and your friends. You have to scroll probably 6-5, clicks to the right before you can find your friend's icon. There's nothing there that's different from the 12 year ago UI that Sony put out.
The PSX apparently was doing that as well.
You know, it's to me. Maybe it's because all these people that argue with us are kids and the PS4 is new to them. They don't know what's going on, or they just came in at the tail end of PS3, so it's like a new PS3 for them. That's great. But for all of us that have this gaming knowledge, and I'm very impressed with Iron Wolf's background, Blackie's food, crap, you guys really know your stuff very well. And I'll tell you the truth. You know, we've seen the good, the bad, and the ugly. That's why we're trying to tell everybody. It's not that we just hate on it. We're just telling you we don't understand what you see in it. Why are you buying it? You know, I mean, if they were handing them out for free, sure, I'll take one too. Why not, right? But you're not. You're paying $400 for it.
Mooch, I think you have this situation here, man, and this is really what I think. You have a lot of young people who got into the gaming scene because if you remember, the games, these things got as big as, or they're still bigger than blockbuster movies. I mean, these things got huge in the last 15 years.
Yeah, they did.
And I think a lot of people, you know, they seen the influence of Call of Duty and these big blockbuster games. Say, I want to play games now. Okay, they don't understand what's offered on the other side. They don't understand what they're missing. I really think a big majority of this are people who just don't understand. Because if you think about it, 10 years ago, we were, you know, the Xbox 360 was launching. I believe it was 10 years ago this November. And I mean, if you're say 20 years old right now, I mean, you miss so much. So I think that, I mean, there could be like an oversight as far as where we're sitting, because we don't know where these kids, how they're looking, because maybe there's just that much of a time difference. They don't understand that, like, dude, you're missing a whole bunch of this shit. Maybe you just got into this. I think that's really what's going on, because you cannot have a fucking brain rattling around in your head, no matter the size of that bitch, and think that a PS4 is doing something better than the Xbox One. Take the 1080p argument all day. I'd rather have a steadier frame rate. Mooch just said it. The games are running smoother on the Xbox One. You couple that with the Xbox Live, the AAA exclusive games, the treatment of these games, the community. The PlayStation Network don't have a showstopper. They just don't. They don't have somebody that you just don't want to be the brunt end of these jokes. And we have that with Showstopper. You hear us, we're charismatic. We're talking about the games we like. We're talking about, you know, Gears of War is awesome. I can't wait for Forza, man. Oh shit, my girl's gonna kill me by the time Halo get here. I'm gonna be single. I mean, this is the shit that we're talking about, because we got actual games, and there's a lot of people that just don't. They're missing that, and it's sad. It's really a sad thing.
You know what I think will be hilarious is next generation, where it goes, because now PC gaming is starting to become more mainstream. Now that these PC companies are actually starting to push these powerful PCs at or a little above console prices, right? So I think next generation is going to be hilarious, because Sony's going to have to actually innovate, or die, and you know they hate to innovate and they don't want to die, and we know Xbox is going to survive because Xbox runs Windows. That Xbox is going to hang in there no matter what. Nintendo's going to have. I don't see Mario ever dying. Nintendo's going to be there, but Sony's going to have no excuse next generation. So they got lucky now with the casual gamers, and that's all they really are, is casual gamers, because you can't fucking convince me you're a hardcore gamer when you're driving a car into a giant soccer ball. But I honestly can't wait, because all these excuses that they have, all these lies that they're putting up, they're going to have stiff competition, and I really can't wait to see what they have.
If you want to...
Mooch.
What's that?
I was going to say the perfect storm, though, food is really, and you're kind of pointing to it, and Wolf, he watched the same thing today. The new Apple TV, they're going to have an app store. They're going to get games on that thing. If the PlayStation, they really think they're going to get by, putting out these indies and getting away with this bullshit, and you have something like the Apple TV and what Apple can bring, and they have soccer cards on there, and that's the only thing you can talk about. It's over for you, because I'm going to get an Apple TV. Wolf is going to get an Apple TV. Mooch is probably going to get one. His grandma's going to get one. And you know what? The PlayStation is going to be done, because that AAA exclusive, that dynamic of these are our games. This is our flagship titles that separate us from the rest. Everybody knows Nathan Drake.
And the fun.
That's not the case. That's not the case with the PlayStation. Everybody knows Mario, and there's a hell of a lot of people who know who
Master Chief, and I mean, come on. Look, Microsoft has a steady mascot. It's been Chief since day one. Nintendo has had like Mario since day one. And you could even say they've got other known things like Zelda and Donkey Kong, and they got a lot of them. But Sony is the one that doesn't really have that. Like, what do you associate with it? Maybe God of War, but that wasn't
the rapper.
But God of War didn't even come around until late into the PS2's life. So I mean, what are they really known for? And it's like the stuff that they're known for, they're not even putting stuff out. Like, look, Gran Turismo, right? How are we getting a third fucking Forza game before they put out their first goddamn Gran Turismo game? What kind of planning? What kind of company half-asses and doesn't plan for that? You don't have your best racer out there? How can you do that?
They're broke. They're broke, and that's what I just want to pose this question out. And if it's rhetorical, you guys don't have to answer, but just hear me out. Do you guys see how balls to the wall Microsoft's going with backwards compatibility? How they gave us every single thing we've asked for? Do you have any idea how hard you think Phil Spencer's working? You guys, I don't know if you guys. I do a little bit of the. I watch this one channel called Red Gaming Tech, and unfortunately, the guy who has the channel, he's a huge Sony fan, so you got to kind of deal with him to get to the information. But his news is interesting, and what Phil Spencer had done about a year ago, he did an Apple move. He hired a ton of the most professional son of a bitches that could make a console that are outside of the line. Some NASA guys, some this, some that. People who really knew how to work with aerodynamics, make this and that. And then he brought in some real chip wizards, some real electrical engineer chip wizards. And what I'm telling you right now is there's no way over at the Sony Corp they're not shitting their pants a little bit. Because here's the thing. Now you've got a real gamer running the Xbox division. He's going to make the next console something that's absolutely frightening. And that's not for us consumers. It's exciting, but for a competitor, it's gonna be a beast. And I'm telling you, the Sony guys, they're like, because even if they try to match, the one thing that they can never really match is, God forbid, Microsoft ever decides to flex their financial muscles. The minute they really want to win, it's kind of over. And I think Microsoft has that ability to do that this next time. And like I said, it's completely speculation.
Microsoft has enough money to buy Sony about 47 times.
Yeah, I know, but I'm trying to be realistic with it too, in the fact that they're just going out, they're hiring the right people that they know. They know they've got to make a sexier box next time. They know that they have to make it, completely do what the Xbox One does and then build upon it. And don't get me wrong, does Sony not know that? Sony knows that. I understand that because, every hater right now is typing, well, Sony knows that too. Sony knows that too. I get that, but there's a difference here. And I think now that look at Phil. What did he say? He said it at E3 this year. He said, I took my guys, put them in a room and said, don't come out till you give me backwards compatibility. That's not something that if Don Matrick was running Xbox division, we would have this fall. It just wasn't on the list. It wasn't on the agenda. And this is something, now that you have Phil behind the helm, you're going to see a lot of amazing things coming to fruition. Things that maybe as gamers we thought were just like distant wishes, and now they're going to come to reality. So I mean, that's just something to chew on. I think that's interesting.
And this is the thing, like what I love about Phil and all the guys over there at Redmond is that they take those feedback forums real seriously. You know what I'm saying? Everything we want, they try and make it a reality, and that's what's up, man. And going back to that Drive Club thing that Crappy was talking about, I never really saw that as a AAA game. It was never a AAA game. I looked at that as more of a game that, you know, it was made with free to play in mind, and they do have a free to play version. So the way I'm looking at it, they took a little bit of content out and made a free to play version of that game, and you know the rest of it, they ripped a lot of people off, man, with Drive Club. They really did.
I don't understand the hype behind that. Like, I remember about a week ago, Crap was saying that it's a good-looking game, and you know, I went and watched some videos on it, and I don't see it. It honestly looks to me like a PS 3.5 game. Like, it just does not look good.
But Food, listen to this though. The way I'm looking at it, the only thing that looks good about Drive Club are the screenshots. When you see that shit in motion, it looks horrible.
Like, have you looked in motion?
Really
Look at the road. The road looks like a smooth piece of gray paper. You can't even see the gravel or anything like that. Like, I have no idea what's going on in that game. It's like the physics are falling apart.
That's what I'm saying. It's like everything just looks dirty and horrible, and it's not clean. You know what I'm saying? But when you take a screenshot, it looks okay because there's no frames, there's no motion behind it. But boy, I'm just saying, Drive Club in motion, it looks like dog shit. And those 30 frames don't give that game any justice.
Yeah, man, and it's like this. These people who make these comparisons, I'd like to say this. Go on YouTube and Google a car driving in the rain. It's not all fucking clear and colorful and beautiful. It's fucking misty and you can't see shit. And there's hydroplaning and shit's really going on. And the physics of it, the sound of it, the amount of cars, the customization, the damage. Like, get the fuck out of here. What are these people doing about Drive Club?
I think Turn 10, they got it right. They got it right with the rain. They didn't do too much rain, if you know what I'm saying, because if they wanted to, they could have put more rain, you know what I'm saying, but like it wouldn't make no sense because we can't see shit.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
You know, luckily that game didn't suffer from too much R trigger. But you know, I think the sad thing is that I had high hopes for Gran Turismo on the PS3, right? Because they were working together with Red Bull. Like, that's a big partner to have, and that game fucking stunk. I could smell that shit from like a country away. And you know, look at Turn 10. What's the name of that one dude Crap that they work with from Top Gear?
Jeremy Clarkson and those guys.
Yo, so they work with these guys. They use their connects. They talk to all these racing companies. They put actual effort into this, and look at their product. Now look at Sony. You would think when they're working with fucking Red Bull, it's gonna be a beast. No, that shit was awful. That was pretty much Drive Club all over again.
Yeah, I'm saying I'm gonna make my prediction right now. By the time we see Gran Turismo 7, is probably when we get Forza Motorsport 7. So those two are gonna go head to head. Anybody agree?
I think that Forza Motorsport 7 in 2017.
Yeah.
GT7. Yeah, they'll go head to head. And I think that, you know, but here's the thing, Gran Turismo, that franchise is dead. You know, it didn't evolve. It didn't evolve like it should have. You know what I mean? Like
just like the controller, by the way, it never evolved.
Yeah, exactly. It didn't evolve. It did a piss poor job, and you know, and I think that's obvious because look at the sales of the last one. You know what I mean?
The last Gran Turismo they had to me was Gran Turismo 4
on the PS2.
Yeah,
that was a great game. That was the only decent Gran Turismo. Yeah, it sure was. Crappy, did you really talk about the GameSpot review of Forza 6? Did you mention that?
We're about to get to that, right?
What was your take on it?
Okay, well, here's what I want to say real quick, right? It seems to me that that the media in general grades Microsoft's exclusives differently than Sony's, differently than Nintendo's, differently than multi-platform games, right? Especially if it's a multi-platform game where the lead platform, or it's known as a PlayStation game mostly. You know, here's the thing. This game, when I played the demo, they let you, if you basically get to play 40 minutes of the game, right? And you get to experience the IndyCar stuff, the weather, the night racing. You get to experience a good chunk of the game. I thought to myself, this game is a 95 out of 100 or a 9.5. You know, out of 100. You know, there's no way that this thing's going to score less than that. But due to some, you know, some of the media, I said the lowest it'll get is 90. And what happened? Almost universal 9.5s, 9s, and then you had a couple of asshats that throw in like Games Radar, a 6 out of 10. Now the guy he didn't even sound like he knew what he was talking about, like he was disinterested. Turns out he didn't know the resolution of the game. He didn't know anything. He was just complaining about a lot of stuff. And this same guy gave Drive Club a 9 out of 10, right? He gives Forza 6 a 6 out of 10, but gives Drive Club a 9 out of 10. And I wrote the guy on Twitter. I was very nice about it. I said, I usually don't do this, but I think that you really kind of, you dropped the ball with this. You know, you didn't put any effort in your review. You know what I mean? And so you have that, and then the Game Informer one that was like, it gave it a 78. Those dragging it down because they should have easily been at least a 90. And I don't think that any Xbox One game will reach that 90 plateau, because you're always going to have that one or two they're going to drop the score by giving it a 5 or a 6. You know what I mean? And I think that that's unfortunate. I'm not going to complain. 88, you already got the best rated racing game this generation. Yeah, that's great. You know what I mean? I don't think you're going to get something to top that. But the fact still remains that there's some bullshit going on in the industry and with the media and things like that. And just look at Metal Gear Solid, right? Sits at a 95 Metacritic, but yet got 10 out of 10s everywhere. But the story is sparse, according to most reviews. The multiplayer didn't launch with it. There's a game-breaking bug in it. 10 out of 10, though, right? Come on, man.
Yeah, there was one complaint from one outlet. I don't know if it was IGN or GameSpot, but they were complaining about replays being at 30 frames per second, which has nothing to do with the gameplay experience. That shit didn't make no sense to me, bro.
Hey, I'm with you 100%. Mooch, I know you want to get on here on this media bias. I can hear you chomping away.
I'm actually taking notes because, to be honest with you,
heavy breathing.
what I can't stand about what we're talking about right now is that one particular subject you just brought up, Crap, and that was that an individual who didn't know much about the racing sim at all, basically didn't know much about the Xbox One at all, was handed a game and then told them to rate it. Now someone's saying, well, what's wrong with that? So what? A new person in the genre. Great. But then that person should not have a right to be able to enter his opinion into the Metacritic score because you're a novice. Let me give you an example. I love to eat, but I am not qualified to walk into La Cirque in New York City and have a dinner and then go to the New York Times and go, nah, 1.5 stars. My ice in my water was a little runny. What the fuck are you talking about? You can't be qualified. Anybody can give their opinion. That's what's great about the internet, right? That's what YouTube was built for, even though we give our opinions and then we're bashed. You can go ahead and give your opinion and be ready for the lethal comeback. But in this instance, my problem is, who the fuck is this guy? And who gave him... You have to have a press pass to go behind the scenes at the Emmys or at the Oscars or any of these events or any sporting event. You have to have a press pass. How come any prick who's 19 years old now can get handed a copy of something and then be like, you know what, I just wasn't feeling it really, to be honest with you. That rumble trigger just kind of wasn't doing it. I'm going to go ahead and give you a 7. Nice try, though, 10. Who the fuck are you? Like, listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, but when you're a reviewer, you have an obligation to all of us as consumers. We're reading it. And people, listen, Metacritic is more than just games. They cover a lot of different reviews on different subjects, different items. This is a very serious thing, and I can't believe how it's not being taken serious in the game. Literally anybody can open a gaming review, anything, and you'll get some sort of publication because there's no guidelines. There's no guidelines. It's just, hey, you over there, do you have thumbs and an index finger? Yep. Come here, you. Get over here. Yeah, play this for a couple of hours, and then just tell me what you think or type it. Okay, yeah, I'll see you later. Here's a yoo-hoo. You know,
Hey,
like it's.
man, I'm telling you, dude. I feel the same way. Like you have, it seems to me like every new AAA exclusive game for the Xbox One, whenever it launches, there's some new motherfucker on Metacritic who's giving it a bad review.
Yeah.
You never heard of them. You never seen of them. Who the fuck are they? Does Metacritic get paid? Or do they? What's going on? Like, I don't understand. But it seems like every time an Xbox game launches, there's some new fucker, like some new gaming forum, and they're on Metacritic, and they don't like it because they're fucking ass pirates, and they'll say that, like, we don't like this, we're ass pirates. Yeah, let's.
Well, no, and the same thing goes for the IGNs of the world. If you go back a long time ago when they had reviews, there was 2 or 3 person per genre or per console that would do a review, and it was really enlightening to sit there and listen to it because they would break down how this sequel in the series was different. And remember when I reviewed it? Remember the key words. Remember when I reviewed it years ago, and I did this and this, and you can get a really good telltale from what was going on before to today. And now it's just like every single review on IGN, go watch 5 or 10 of them, just randomly click, go to their reviews, and just randomly click. You're going to get 15 different names. Jimmy Johnson, Lucy O'Brien, Timmy Smith, and John Johns. It's like, who gives a shit? And who the fuck are you people? Like, why is it I'm supposed to just believe some kid? And IGN, okay, just in case no one doesn't believe me, when Greg Miller and Colin Moriarty and all those knuckleheads all left and they went and started their own show, all they did was literally take the next guy in line, because he said it. The next guy who did the show the next day was like, guys, bear with me now. This is my first day. All I did before was hold the camera. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? Why am I listening to you then? You're the guy who holds the camera. You have no gaming experience at all. You were hired because you're fucking starving and thought it was better in California because it's warmer out there. Get the fuck off the screen. I can't stand how everything has just become so, it's just so elementary. And this is a $1 billion business. People are like, well, Mooch, why do you give a shit so much? Because there's billions of dollars in this business, and it's being run by either children or people who have no idea what's going on in the business. And I can't believe so much money's filtering through it, and there's no goddamn leadership. Somebody get me over there. Get me over to California.
Get Mooch over there. Hey, you know what was really funny was this GameSpot. Like they're the arch embassy of the Xbox, right? They gave Forza Motorsport 5, a launch game, a 9 out of 10. They review Forza 6, say it's way better than Forza 5, but give it an 8 out of 10. So they give it 1 point less for being better. I mean,
well, it's because of the R trigger. Come on now.
Yeah, well, yeah. There's too much R trigger. You know what I mean? So I mean, look, Ori and the Blind Forest, even though it was an incredibly hard game, right? That game should have been a 90+ Metacritic score. If that was on PlayStation, it would have been a 90+. I saw Mooch. I loved your video. Your new growing up Mooch. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, the Mooch78. You know what I especially love is the soccer car transformer sitting on the desk.
You like
that's
that?
Like that's like a good little screw you. I was like, laughing my ass off.
Shout out to Jay Williams.
Yeah, Jay Williams, the graphic god. He does amazing graphics and stuff. He can do YouTube headers and
he's
all
a
this
wonderful
kind of cool
guy.
stuff.
Make sure if you need graphics done, check out Jay Williams.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been called a wonderful guy, but that was awesome food.
Yeah. Tell him, you heard from us or whatever. He'll give you a good deal. Don't try to like stingy him out. Toss him a few bucks.
If you tell him that you know too much food, he actually charges you more. So don't do that.
Exactly. So anyway, yeah, like that totally pisses me off, right? Like when, oh well, this game's better than the last one, but it gets a worse score, and it's like, look, at the end of the day, it's opinion. I'm thrilled, with the way Forza scored overall, the highest rated racing game this generation. Forza takes its right spot like it did last gen. I'm thrilled with that, but you do question some of the stuff, like I do. You just got to use your head. Is everybody biased? Is it Sony paying them off out of their pockets? Not exactly. Use your own head and kind of decide what you want to do with that. I think that it's, each of us has to decide what we're going to do, what sites we're going to visit. I don't think that maybe avoiding these people or these sites altogether is going to work that much. So, you know what I mean? But, hey, shout out to the over 220 people watching, man. You guys are awesome on a Wednesday night, too, man. I appreciate it. Guys, man, if you guys like content, man, I know these guys all do content pretty regularly. Iron Wolf does a lot of good gear stuff. Blackie does stuff almost, I think, daily almost. Too Much Food does the same thing. Mooch does great content. And Mooch, I want to say something real quick since a lot of people are talking about it real quick, right?
Sure.
Like, you did this video, and, you know, as when I'm watching it, I didn't think anything wrong, and then I go into the comment section, and the usual asshats that want to be Oprah talking about men instead of gaming on their gaming channels, right? Because if they talk about gaming, nobody watches, so they got to talk about men, their feelings about men and exposing men, right?
Hide your husbands.
Yeah, so, you know, so that's what they want to do, right? And basically all over the comments that you made, which I understood right away because we've all talked about it, which was at the end of 2014, NPD put out their results for their yearly sales for software, right? Call of Duty Advanced Warfare sold best on Xbox 360, followed by Xbox One, followed by PS4, right?
Yep.
That's a fact. And these games obviously are going to sell the most within the first couple months. So Call of Duty Advanced Warfare sold best on Xbox platforms. Destiny, as of 2014, the end of it, sold best on Xbox One, followed by PlayStation 4. Those are the facts. That's what you were talking about,
That's
right?
correct.
Obviously, a game like Metal Gear Solid.
Everybody's pulling up. The minute I get done talking about that is everyone pulls up VG charts. Listen, if VG charts was legit, do you think Microsoft and Sony would be paying all that money for NPD? Why would they be paying so much if VG charts was so goddamn reliable? It's not. They've been caught with their pants down before. So anyone that wants to say that VG charts is respectable, there's a million articles out there that says they're not. And that's the whole point. Crap actually makes a great point to bring that up. When I was discussing that, I'm talking about the NPDs of the 2014 holiday. Microsoft dominated in third-party games and, of course, in their own. And that was my point with dominating in sales. They're making hand over fist, especially on first-party. Halo 5, this is a prediction, so everybody can just take this with a grain of salt. But doesn't everybody on the panel agree with me? Halo 5, in my personal opinion, will outsell probably Bloodborne, The Order, and Until Dawn.
I will put
I really
money
do
on
think
that.
that.
It will. It absolutely.
Collectively, altogether, that game will outsell all of those three. Yes.
I will give it a year to outsell all those three.
So my point being is, how outrageous was I when I made my video when I'm telling you that Microsoft knows what they're doing. The game is in software. The game is software, not hardware. Every single generation, no matter how old or how young you are, nothing has ever been bragged about in the industry upon hardware sales. They don't make much off of that. It's all software. Halo 5 alone will make... Bloodborne was registered at a little over 1 million in its prime when it was over a month and a half, 2 months old. It was a little over 1 million in sales. I don't know. I don't think The Order broke 1 million. And if it did, it took the full year. And Until Dawn is not even... I mean, that's not going to break 1 million. So you're talking less than 3 million. Halo 5 is going to crush those numbers. Crush them by the end of holiday.
They have the might of their budget, and in the studio failure is not an option. After the launch of Halo: The Master Chief Collection with the online woes, I'm telling you, they are making sure that this is the most polished Microsoft game on release ever. It is going to sell wonderfully. The launch is going to be huge, and Microsoft, like I said, failure is not an option for this game. So let's say sales slow down. You know their asses are going to cut this down in price. It's going to be almost for fucking free on Black Friday. It is going to be bundled in consoles. It's going to be bundled with other games. It's going to sell. It's going to do so much better than the best-selling PS4 game. I don't care what it is. It's going to do.
Well, you know what? Here, go ahead.
I'll say I asked Phil Spencer, like, do you plan a big launch for Halo 5? I'm sure Mooch knows about it because I think you replied to that tweet.
I saw you
Yeah.
tweeting.
Phil is planning a huge extravaganza for Halo 5. It's going to be huge. They're planning things in New York, LA, London, Paris, Sydney, you know, everywhere. Like even in Milan, probably Rome, you name it, Berlin, all over the world. This is going to be huge. It's going to be the biggest launch, and I'm predicting this right now. Halo 5 is going to reach 3 million on week 1. Guaranteed.
That's reasonable.
I mean, I think. Does anybody have a pre-order number? I know the pre-order numbers don't really count to much, but what is the tally? There's a tally that keeps coming out.
I don't know. They're saying that there's a good amount. So,
well, yeah, if you look at 800,000 pre-orders, it's about 800,000. That's nearly 1 million already in pre-orders.
Yeah, it's the number one thing pre-ordered on. Yeah, it's number one pre-ordered on GameStop as well, and also the most anticipated game on GameStop as well. So I think that it's going to do very well, and it has its own console bundle. You know what I mean? They went all out.
Right.
They got that collector's edition with the statue and everything, and I think that looks fantastic. I like what they're doing. I love what they're doing. I think they're doing a really good job with it, and I think that Halo is back. People seem to be really excited about what they're doing. The 60 frames per second is going to make a world of difference. Warzone looks absolutely fantastic. Free map packs. Think about this. What company does that anymore? What company that puts out a game as big as Halo? Hell, look at Sony thinks that Uncharted is big like Halo. People might try to compare it. They're not even close, but Uncharted already announced paid DLC for that damn game, right? What do you get with Halo 5? You get free fucking map packs. You get 15 free maps. That's unbelievable. That's never happened before. That's awesome. And I think that, Warzone, I don't know if you guys have seen any of that stuff on YouTube, but it's definitely look, it's amazing. I think it looks absolutely fantastic. I'm excited for it. I think that it's gonna do really well. It's gonna push a lot of Xboxes.
I'm excited for the whole Warzone thing because it's reminding me of like Titanfall. Titanfall brought this whole level of gameplay, like there's just so much shit going on at the same time, and with Warzone, it gives me that same feel. So that's literally the #1 feature that I am excited for.
And thing with Halo is more than just a game; it's an experience, and that's an experience that you don't get anywhere else.
Yeah,
it's a shared experience more than anything, Wolf. It's an experience that you can share with your friends, and it has a lot of longevity. So unlike all the PlayStation games that we mentioned, The Order and all this other bullshit that they play on that stupid system, people are actually going to want to buy Halo in the future because their friends are going to be buying Halo 5. Multiplayer is not going to be going away. People are going to be exposed to it in the real world, and that's the great thing. Like we were talking about media bias, I think in the end, more people are they're going to be wondering why are these games getting reviewed like this whenever Forza is amazing and they're not giving the last one they're giving the last one a better score, but they're saying that this one is better than that one. They're going to want to go see the people who are actually playing Halo and enjoying those games and hear what they have to say. And I think this is where everybody on this panel comes into play, man. It's not going to be long, man, and I think that just more and more people are going to be looking more towards alternative media because this shit's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. We're talking about Halo right now. I'm thinking about all the great things that are going to happen October 27th. I mean, we all know this. We have the Elite controller that's right behind it. You have the UI.
Oh, well, we're not going to be playing Halo. We're going to be watching Sony do Paris Game Show or whatever the hell that is. You know what gamers are going to be doing.
By that date, there's just going to be so much going on, and then in the future, there's going to be so much to look forward to. Crackdown, Scalebound. I think that there's no way that being a gamer, you could just deny shit, especially the new Halo. Like, this is the new Halo. This isn't the Master Chief Collection. This isn't anything like that. This is the new big Halo. We're going to see like graphics on the Xbox One that are going to blow our fucking minds. I know Rise is a lot of people's favorite, but there's going to be so much shit going on the screen, and the audio is going to be unreal, and everything is just going to click, and you're going to understand why the Xbox One is a shit. At least if you have common sense.
See, I don't know if anybody on the panel knows, but you do know that Halo 5 is meant to have between a 16 and 18-hour campaign. I don't know if you guys know about that. And why aren't the media talking about this shit? Like,
they don't want to embarrass the Order.
Oh, you're talking about the Order 1886?
No, he's talking about Halo. Like, I'm just saying, the media ain't talking about why Halo has such a long and in-depth campaign is because they don't want to embarrass the Order. You could literally play the Order 5 times before you finish Halo 5.
Well, I'm not sure if the Order has anything to do with it, but because this is what they did with the Order, right? Remember, Mooch, you were witness to all this. We were joking about it. They all put bad reviews out because you couldn't review that game good. It wasn't good, right? It was terrible. It was walking. You couldn't skip the cutscenes. It was short. It was repetitive. So they gave it bad reviews because they had to. How are you going to give that game a good review, right?
Well, it's funny
Oh, go ahead.
But then remember, they damage control the review. You're not crazy if you love the order or watch us play the order. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah, that's the key thing. Let's just pinpoint that for a second. After they damaged and destroyed the game, somebody was like, wait, did we just talk shit about Sony? All right, back to the drawing board. How do we get everybody back? And they literally did that. They spent 2 weeks after everyone went hog wild bashing it for a week, and then 2 weeks was let's plays, walkthroughs. Don't feel bad if you bought this. It's okay, guys. Let's play the order together on IGN. I'm like, what the hell's going on? I mean, I've never seen when anything gets a bad review on IGN or any of these channels, it's left for dead. And this thing got a mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I've never seen anything like it in my life, and it made people feel. And then all of a sudden, you saw other YouTubers be like, you know what? I had $60 burning a hole in my pocket. I decided, why not? I'll go try it. I wanted to experience the shit. I want to experience a 5.0. It's been a long time since I experienced a 5 out of 10. What the hell happened? And that's so important, crap. That really did happen. And that's when, again, you scratch your head till you bleed. And you're like, what the hell is going on right now? What's this industry turning into? Where's the favoritism? I understand it's not a payoff, but what is Sony giving these goddamn people that all have offices on the West Coast? And I don't know what in the world. Listen, take an IGN office and put it in New York City, all right, and then tell me that this shit ain't going to happen. People in New York are hard, man. They're going to be like, this is horse shit. This is garbage. Everything over there, maybe it's because they're closer to Japan and California. I don't know what the hell's going on, but there's some sort of bias, some sort of love. It's just so fake. I don't understand it, and it's in black and white, guys. You can read it, you can watch it. Everything we're talking about is filmed. It's on YouTube. Just search for it. Check it out.
These guys doing these quote unquote journalists. These journalists never got to play anything before the PS1. Like, that is what it is. Their loyalty is there. They have grown up now, if you could call it that. And they're trying to push their beliefs onto someone else rather than them saying, you know what, try the Dreamcast and try the Xbox and try the GameCube, try the Sega Saturn, try the N64. They don't want to hear any of that shit. Now they have. What do you think they put that guy who's never done journalism or reporting a day in his life and all he did was hold the camera? It's because they was like, oh, you like Crash Bandicoot? Come over here.
Well, listen,
that's all you need.
We all have friends that have 360s that are still holding on to them. Go watch that Greg Miller. Watch his. You gotta find the episode. He does like 80 a day, but if you go find him either on his channel now or on IGN, the minute the PS4 came out, he's like, I sold it. I got rid of it. I turned in my PS3. Like, we have people on Xbox 360 that are still coveting their games. They love it. They're still on their 360. Why do I need to upgrade? I don't understand. I still love my 360. PS3 people threw them out the freaking window. They didn't even want the money it was worth at GameStop. They threw it out the window. They're like, just give me the PS4. That was a piece of shit. So, I mean, you just have this like you said, it was literally, the PS3 was for a lot of people in gaming, the gaming media. A lot of the people in the gaming media were PS3 was their first console, and it was shit. It was garbage. Now they don't know any better. The PS4 is just PS3 and a half. But that's what they got. They got their 1080p and they're getting 19 frames per second. That's fine. No one ever cares that Sony's stepping on the gas on the 1080p, and they're losing a lot of their frame rate is dipping well below 30 on certain things like Assassin's Creed Unity. And this is all Digital Foundries. This isn't me talking. Don't make this is they dipped lower in The Witcher. Metal Gear Solid 5 runs better on Xbox
Max
One.
just got the rare approval from Digital Foundry for running better than the PS4 version.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I mean, you're starting to see this more and more, and then what's going to happen even more is when you get stuff like DirectX 12, people are going to laugh. But guess what?
Windows 10.
A new rumor, a new thing just surfaced: 50% increase with CPU, 20% GPU. That's Xbox One, folks. That's not PC. And that's going to do a lot because Xbox One already has the superior CPU, and it's not behind in the GPU by much. 20% increase. Ladies and gentlemen, there goes any fucking advantage the PS4 had. I don't give a shit what anybody says. You guys can sit there. I can still recall people saying at launch, the gap's going to get wider. Xbox will always have 720p games compared to 1080p on PS4, and we don't have that, folks. We don't have that. And it's great. So I think that
You're
I'm
right.
happy about that.
The sky's the limit with the Xbox One. It's only going to evolve and get better and better, like as the years go by. Like the PS4 is what you see is what you get. Just like Mooch said last week on my show, what you see is what you get. It's already maxed out completely.
Yeah, what comes out of the box is what you pretty much have. You can have Update 3.0 come out. They're just going to give you features that the Xbox will get later. But what's interesting is the features that Xbox is getting every month, like backwards compatibility. That's huge. Sony already came out and said we can't do that. We can't mimic that. It's something that's beyond our control. We can't do it. That's a huge thing. Then you have things like EA Access, which are now exclusive, via commercials and fine print, exclusive to the Xbox One. Then you have things like Snap Feature. They can't do that on the Sony PS4. They can't. It just wasn't built that way. They can't do it. They've said they can't do it. It's just
what it comes down to, man. We said this time and time again. It's funding. Microsoft has the money. It's the research and development. They have the money to get the teams together to brainstorm ideas to get the Snap Feature to work, to think of how to get stuff like Scalebound going. And to me, it's like it's really hard to argue with somebody when they can't. I don't want to argue with somebody who can't see the difference that if you're running a business and you have two businesses who are competing, the one that has more money is just going to be able to do more things. There's only so many amount of loans you're going to take out before your interest rates are too high, and you got to start making money somewhere. And it's not like, oh, Sony had a bad quarter. Like, they've been doing bad for a long time. They have an extremely long list of shit products. The PSP Go, PlayStation Move Sharpshooter, SOCOM. I mean, I can think of things that they've created that could have been something really amazing, and they fall short a lot of the times. And now it's at a point where there's just not enough funding, and you're going to get somebody like Microsoft, where at one point they had the most profitable business in existence with Windows. And Xbox is going to reap some of the benefits. And it's like the Red Dragon said this the other day in his video, shout out to him again, the whole idea behind the Xbox was to get Windows in your living room. And when you think about that by itself, there's no stopping it. Windows is Windows. And if their idea was to get this shit in your living room, if that was the whole idea from the start, they're doing a good job, because I hate Microsoft and I'm pro Xbox. Now, I love what they're doing with the living room. I have an Apple computer, an Apple, iPhone, and that's what I mean. It's like I just don't see anything stopping them as far as the innovation, and it all boils down to money. If you have more money than your competitor, you're going to be doing better things than them. It's just like your neighbor. If you work hard and you fucking save money, and your neighbor's sitting there fucking smoking meth and shit all the time, blowing their money on stupid shit, you're probably, just maybe, you might have more nicer shit than your neighbor who fucking smokes meth all the time. You know what I mean?
But here's the thing, like I kind of disagree with what you said about, if you have more money, you're just gonna do better, because to be honest, we're not expecting them to fucking be a monster and come out with a console that's twice its power and does better and has only exclusives. We're just asking them, put out 4 or 5 exclusives a year for your fucking fan base. Update your fucking UI. Stop crowdfunding your games and your watches. Like, we're not asking them to spend billions of dollars. That's probably about $150 to $200 million tops.
Well, it boils down to things like this, Food. Microsoft, if you have a problem with your Xbox One, they're able to get you the box to send that shit to them faster than Sony. That's what I'm talking about as far as money goes. It's like they can do things for their customer, and they can meet the needs of the customer better because of funding. That's all I mean. It's like money is, they say it's the root of all evil, whatever, but that's what I mean. To run a business, if I'm going to be buying a $400 console and games are $60 a pop, and you're buying, 8 of these things a year, I mean, that's some serious money over the span of a couple of years. So fuck that. I'm going with the best bet. And it didn't even take just that knowledge to see it. It took games like I said, SOCOM, like the whole network shut the fuck down. Resistance was broken. Killzone was broken. It took me experiencing all this stuff and jumping back on the 360 Slim, playing Gears of War 3, Halo 4, and saying, damn, Microsoft, they actually have their shit together over here at Microsoft. That's what I mean as far as
they're for the gamer. You know, and on a side note, what you said, I don't want to drift off too far, but it does relate to what you said, that, you know, they are for the gamer, not Sony. When that kid, I forget his name, there was a kid that jailbroke the PS3. I don't know if you guys remember this. Sony tried to fucking jail this kid. They were trying to throw him.
That's why they got hacked.
Yeah, and then
that's why PSN went down.
And then the Xbox, OG Xbox, when they were being broken, and then they were putting all these mods and software into them. Some of the team members at Xbox went to Bill Gates and says, "We have to stop this. We got to hit them with court orders. We got to do something about this." And Bill Gates looked at them and said, "Why? This is great." So that's the team you're on. You're on the team that's for the gamer. They're not going to try to throw you in fucking jail. It's your product. You're going to play great games, exclusives, have Kinect, have Cortana, Windows 10, DirectX 12, Forza, Rise of the Tomb Raider, Crackdown, EA Access, Scalebound, the feedback. I mean, and then with the PS4, what you're getting is threats when you sign the little agreement for the PSN fucking store that you agree that you won't class action lawsuit their asses because they're so used to being sued, and they'll throw your ass in jail if you try to jailbreak their PS4.
And I think this is the best way to wrap it up, man. For me, if you want to really summarize this, Xbox, they're for the greater good of gaming. Sony and the PlayStation, they're in the greater good of surviving, and that's the biggest difference between the two, man.
Yeah, they're out there begging. I mean, panhandling. They're the best at panhandling.
It's in your hands.
It is.
What's in your wallet?
Sony.
I mean, what else can you say though? Like, I mean, Xbox is pushing a lot of stuff as far as innovation, the cloud computing. None of this stuff is set in stone. Like, there is no guaranteed monetary reward for all this, money they're dumping into the cloud. But I mean, to me, that's who I want to be, supporting as far as games go. Because at the end of the day, with all that happening, like I said in my last video, a lot of people are playing Gears. They're happy. They're excited. They're pumped up about Forza next week. They're like, holy shit, how the fuck am I gonna, play Halo and all these games? And just think about that. On the other consoles, they're just not.
That's how I feel. I feel like we're getting spoiled right now. Literally, Microsoft are spoiling us right now throughout the next 4 months, including throughout 2016. Now, one thing I really do wish, and I'm going to keep it real, I really wish that Microsoft, I wish Microsoft did not make the Xbox 360 so damn good. Because these motherfuckers don't want to upgrade, yo.
They don't want to let go. They're holding on to their childhood. You got to remember, if you were born on the year the Xbox 360 came out, you're fucking 10. You don't want to let that shit go.
That's exactly what I'm saying. Yeah. And I don't know if you had this as a topic, but do you guys know about this Uncharted Nathan Drake bundle that they announced?
Yeah, I know about.
I was surprised they actually announced they announced a first-party game, even though it's a remaster in a bundle. Usually they just do third parties.
But it's not a custom console. That's what I'm trying to say. They do a Destiny DLC custom console, but they don't do one for their own exclusives. There you go again. There's proof in the pudding that they don't have faith in their own first-party games. Yeah. It's a fact.
Yeah.
I agree. Hey, I agree.
I mean, I don't think that bundle's going to sell very well, and it's
why would it?
No, I don't think it will.
Well, did you see a custom for Second Son? No. Killzone? No. Knack? No. Drive Club? No. The Order? Bloodborne? No. You know what I'm saying? You didn't see any of them shits, and you will never. I don't know if we're going to get one for Grand Prix.
I think there was a Knack. I think there was a Knack one in Japan, like they were like, hey, we're going to force these guys to buy this, you know what I mean? And it's like, it's crazy. And you guys see like the damage control from the media. They're like, Sony doesn't need exclusives because they're selling third-party games at an amazing rate. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, come on. That's what they said. I've read that today. I mean, that's bad. That's bad.
That nearly gave me cancer. That little statement, that little article nearly gave me cancer. Seriously, that's like a contagious disease.
Did you read it?
I did read it, man. I think it was something to do with Metal Gear 5. And
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid 5. Yeah,
No.
Metal Gear Solid 5. Thanks to third-party multi-platform games, PS4 doesn't need exclusives. I mean, seriously, look, you can get those games on Xbox, and you can get the Xbox exclusives. There's double the reason. You know what I mean? There's even more than that because we're finally starting to see them promote EA Access, which is about damn time. And that commercial was pretty damn funny today, you know. And it comes up Xbox exclusive, and you see all the PlayStation fanboys going, "Why isn't this on PS4?"
I know. I don't know, but I wanted to talk about this as well. Basically, PlayStation gamers are responsible for the majority of YouPorn's console-based traffic.
I saw that.
Oh my god!
They're not even
That's
gaming. They're not even.
Yo, Mooch was
fucking
right.
Gaming.
Mooch was right. It is called the Lonely Station, and that's why.
No, that's what. No, it's called the PlayStation for a reason.
No, literally.
There's a lot of dudes that owns that console. They're real lonely, bro.
That's why if you go into their party chat, all you hear is.
Well, no, hold on. Did you actually I read that article, guys, and you know what the funny thing was they actually called out the fact that PS4 has no games, which probably explains they have too much time on their hands, which explains why they do that, right?
Is that what you call it, time?
Yeah, too much time on your hands. I mean, what else are you gonna do? I mean, you start one day you're playing some kind of weird anime game, and next thing you know, you're on the YouPorn site. That's how it is.
You're playing Persona 8, the fucking porn version, whatever the fuck they play.
Yeah.
It's in their hands.
It is, but
Greatness awaits.
It does actually. It does.
Oh my god, there's so many puns with YouPorn now. I didn't know this. Thanks for pointing that out, Iron Wolf. This is great. I'm gonna make so many memes.
The statistics don't lie, man, and that's the thing.
Yeah, they don't. So anyway, you know what? We've been in here. Like I told Mooch, we're not gonna do like a 2-hour session, and it's already like an hour and a half. So I wanted to.
Are you there, Mooch?
I'm here. I talked so much in the beginning. It's not fair for me to just keep yelling and harping and ranting.
There's a lot of people in the chat telling you to shut up because you're a liar. But I'm like, Mooch hasn't talked in like 20 minutes.
That's BG sending his hate into Crap's channel.
All right. Before we end this,
yo, Mooch, you guys there?
Yeah, I hear you.
Before we end,
I just wanted to say we're like an hour and a half in. I wanted to go ahead and kind of wrap it up. Do you guys have any kind of closing things you want to say real quick or anything? Like shout out your channels or Twitter or all that good stuff?
Absolutely. I love free plugins. No, I just wanted to thank the Mooch Maniacs for not harassing me this podcast because I'm on your team. I love Mooch just as much as you do. I actually want to see him run for president.
Mooch.
Yes,
he's got his nose up in the clouds, dude.
Mooch 2016. Also, thanks again for the 700 subscribers. I really do appreciate it. If you stop by, please don't forget to subscribe, rate, comment, favorite, and subscribe. It's Too Much Food with zeros, all one word. Follow me on Twitter. I love to chat with you guys. Send articles my way. I love to cover all gaming news. So if you want me to cover news from Atari to Dreamcast and GameCube, let me know. I'm your guy. And that's
he's your guy. That should be your new tagline. I'm too much food. I'm your guy. All right. What about you, Blackie? Anything you want to close with, bro?
Yeah, man. I just wanted to say, add me on Xbox Live. It is Blackie Lebowski. Add me and let's do this. It's a really good time to be on the Xbox. And thanks for having me on the podcast.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. What about you, Iron Wolf?
Yeah, add me on Xbox Live, all caps, Iron Wolf 714. And yeah, thank you for having me on the show again, bro. Oh yeah, and keep it Xbox. Man. Keep it
Xbox. How about you, Mooch?
I just want to say thank you to everybody, man. It's been an interesting first 2.5 weeks or so. Great response from everybody. The number keeps going up, and it's just motivating me. I should have been putting a lot of work into the, the quality of the videos, but we're also starting to step on the gas now that things are coming along. We're going to be able to get some more quantity out too. So stay tuned. There's a lot more Mooch to come. Trust me. Thanks for having me, Crap.
Hello.
Where did Crap
All right.
go? Crap
Crap
donating
wants
his
to say
channel to me. All right, thank you, Crap. I appreciate it.
Crap wants you to know that he appreciates you all, and thanks for stopping by and watching the Xbox Nation podcast with the Mooch, Iron Wolf, Too Much Food, and me, Crap Gamer.
And Blackie Lebowski, my boy.
Oh, Blackie, I'm so sorry.
Rack 'em up, and we'll catch you guys here. Oh, Friday I'm doing a fan cast, man. I think I got some fans joining me, like I think Jamie Moran and a couple of these other guys, man. I invited. I'm just gonna kind of pay back the community that supported me. I'm not sure that there's many other YouTubers that are throwing like just fans of them in their podcast. Fancast is Friday night at 8 on my channel, so make sure you guys stop by. And
very cool
Awesome.
idea, Crap.
That is awesome, man. Respect to you for
Yep.
that, bro.
And I might even rotate some. So if you're in the audience and you like follow me,
Follow him on Twitter, and you might want to send him a tweet, and he could probably get you on. He's buying.
He's biting right now.
all right, guys.
I can't do this right now. Mooch, take over,
Thanks.
man.